Alright, so we're back on this the large ECU connector, and I'm going through these colored plugs. So there's 4 on this harness. So the black connector is mainly cruise control and brake switches. There's one green wire that is needed for the glow plug relay, so it runs into this harness up to the glow plug relay. The rest of those aren't needed, for me at least, unless they're only needed if you're going to be running cruise. Blue connector is strictly for the throttle pedal. So, and you just have both harnesses out and you can check. So other side of the blue connector here, every wire from there runs to here, with the exception of the blue with yellow, which powers that pedal. Moving on to the brown connector, it's got your starter wire, which you don't need. I am running the factory Toyota starter wire, and that it's already functioning. All you got to do is basically power the relay, or power the fuse box from the battery in the Toyota, and the entire body harness is functioning. Coolant glow plugs, not running that, so that wire's cut. And then you have some other very important wires on here. So this big red with the purple is the main power for the ECU. So you can see it runs up here, splits off, and then it powers 2 big pins on the ECU there. The yellow with the brown powers all your sensors. Obviously I have deleted some of them, but you can see this was the original splice that spliced out and fed all the sensors for power. The blue with yellow is another power that powers the crankcase vent heater. Still haven't decided if I'm using that, so I'm going to leave it all intact for now. And then you just got some other small wires that run to the ECU. Don't remember 100% what they're for, but they are needed. I believe one of them is for the glow plugs. Can't remember the other one. And blue we had, orange. I still need to go through orange. But an easy way to decide what you'd need and what you do not need is this pin out. So this shows not every pin, but the majority of the pins, the majority of the wires on the ECU plugs that are needed to make the motor run. So say you want to figure out what this ECU, this purple wire goes to ECU. So you'll trace that back. You'll find out where it goes, and so there's 4 rows of pins. It's on the second row down, the second pin in. So then you go on your ECU, and your ECU has, I'm not going to be able to get it on the camera, but there's numbers. Each pin is numbered in the ECU. So you'll go, and they're on either end. So 43 is the left side, and then it runs down 225. So you'll go 43, second one in would be 42. Then you'll come on here, find pin 42, purple white wire, which is correct. That goes the glow plug relay. So we know that's needed if you are running the factory glow plug relay setup. So pretty easy to do, just time consuming. So just go through and before you cut a wire, double check it, make sure you don't need it, just in case. And if you have questions on it, leave it till you get the truck running. So I'm going to go through this orange connector and see what's all coming into that connector. So yeah, I'm going to go through this and show you guys, let you know if I find anything on that plug that I decide I need. Alright, so I went through this orange plug. There's your TAC input. It's a green with a brown, and your K line. So K line is for the data link connector. And to make this functionable, all you need to do is there's two grounds, which are these two browns here. There's a power. I can't remember which one was power. OBD2 power is red. So the red says the solid red. There's a pin out of this too. It's most likely the red with the white right there. And then the other wire you need is K-line. So it's the gray with white. So essentially all you have to do, stick this in the truck where you want it, ground it, run the power to it, and it is battery power, not switch ignition power. So straight battery power, and then run your K-line from the connector to that, which feeds the ECU, and you can actually tune off those three wires. So other than that, on this plug I don't think we need anything, and this plug actually runs into this harness here, right here. So if you have this other harness, you can also trace these wires back too. It's a lot more headache, but you can do it that way. But yeah, most of these wires aren't listed on here, so I don't think they're needed. But I am going to leave them here just in case, until I actually start the truck, make sure and confirm that they are unneeded. Probably should have just left them plugged in anyway, but I bundled them up, labeled them, and I'm fairly certain all these are for cruise anyway, and brake switches. Not sure about the orange one. And actually, I did find online there was another. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Right here. So don't go by this religiously, because this is actually for a Beetle, and Beetles do have very strange wiring compared to Jetta or Gulf. So you can see here, I mean, I wouldn't go by this, but unless you have a Beetle harness. The orange connector, brake reservoir, AC, map, which there isn't a map wire on mine. Speed signal, pin 20. That looks like it's correct on there. If it'll focus. Right there, pin 20 is speed signal, which we're not using. And the rest is AC, so they are unneeded. But yeah, like I said, this is for a Beetle, so a lot of the stuff I have found on my harness is different. So don't go by it religiously, but it can kind of get you in the right direction anyway. So I was going to go over, there's two plugs on this cabin harness that have wires in it that you need. So the white has a alternator wire. This wire here went to the fan control. I'm not using that system, so that wire can be deleted. there was these 2 wires are CAN bus wires. If I end up doing anything with those, I'm gonna have to rewire it anyway, so I cut those. That went to the clutch or brake, I forget exactly which one, but not needed right now unless I decide to use cruise. So white plug, the important wire is the alternator wire, but just make sure that you know where it is. The other wire, or the other connector, is the brown. There is the K-line wire, so that's for your OBD2 port, and there is a tack signal wire, which is a green wire that runs, that powers the tack, so that obviously runs up to the dash or the instrument cluster, this harness here. So you can cut that, obviously. I just went up and cut it right out of this harness here, so there's enough room. But other than that, a lot of this stuff isn't needed. You can see I still have some wires on here that I haven't traced out, so once I'm gonna go buy a manual and with a wiring schematic so I can go through all this a lot easier. But yeah, so just trace these wires and make sure you know what you need before you cut it.